Welcome back to Aurora. Quite a lot's happened since the last video. A lot of it basically not massively interesting, but um, so I thought you might not needed to have seen it all um, on camera. So let me give you a recap of what's happened. Now, if you remember, we were looking at. I can't see that. Okay. There we go. Right. Sorry about that. We were looking at Earth, lunar, and UR163 and a few civilian mines. By pressing this group function button, it puts it between habitated areas, auto-mined areas, and civilian areas, plus other colonies. Now, um, Luna, we've built some infrastructure and shipped it over there. I'm not sure whether we've done that or not. So we've now got 16.5 million people living there, working a total of 210 mines. There's 16 auto mines, but we're slowly getting rid of those. And it's got one mass driver, which sends it all back to Earth. Um, Annual production is 5994, which is more than the mass driver could cope with. But as these things drop off, they'll catch up. I'm not too worried about the stockpile. That's building up. I'd rather a little bit of a stockpile than too little. It's got a requested protection level of 3 and it's got 4,814. That's mostly due to the intercontinental ballistic missiles that are useless that we started the game with. But hey ho, never mind. Earth is beginning to mine out some places, and uranium is getting a little bit scarce for us. So we do need to look into that. I've scrapped our test ship. You saw in the previous videos that how that went, and that's great. We now understand roughly sensors, but the sensors weren't of tremendous strength. So research, we're jumping quite ahead in research here. We're pushing really hard. We've built lots of new labs, and we're trying very, very hard to improve our military as much as anything. We've got lots of stuff queued up here. A lot of it is down to trying to get missiles and anti-missile weaponry. More of that in a moment when we come on to the Navy. We've also colonized with auto mines a number of other asteroids, including Astrea has got 84 auto mines. Comma Solar has got 51 of them. Borley has got 37. Temple Tuttle just 14 at the moment, and McNaught Russell has got 4. Now some of these are comets. Some of the comets that are flying around and on their way in. So McNaught Russell is a long, long, long way out at the moment. Some 9 and a bit billion kilometers out, but it's getting nearer. By comparison, UR163 is just here. Now the reason why I shifted moving stuff to UR163 and to some of these other places is because it was so far out. We were taking months just to drop off a mine, and that wasn't really cutting it. It was taking a long, long, long time. Borley, for instance, there is another comet there. It's just on its way out, and we're frantically trying to dump some more auto mines on it as quick as we can. It's got a mass driver, and once the auto mines are on it and the mass driver's on it, it doesn't matter how far out it goes. It's fine. Problem we do have is our cargo ships haven't got the range to get all the way out to McNaught Russell and back again. more about that shortly as well. So there's a number of other planets here. We've also sent our survey team on the ground to a number of these to see whether we could increase the amount of stuff. Oh, that one we haven't actually. Astri, Comasola, Borley, Temple, Tuttle, and McNaught Russell all have had it completed, and our survey team, as well as a few others around here, and these guys here. Unfortunately, he's not finding anything on any of them, which I'm not really sure about because I'm sure I've seen YouTube videos where they find something occasionally. This guy, this survey team, which has got a survey strength of 200, has found absolutely nothing. Maybe there's a bug. Maybe there just isn't anything else to find. So we'll see. These are some of the other places we'd like to go to. What's that? Psych. It's got an axis of 3. Not massive amounts of titanium, but some other stuff. It might be worth putting stuff on there just for a little while. This has got a reasonable axis. Basically, I was looking for other bodies in our system that had more than 2 of a particular thing, because if you have one mine, it will mine 0.6 of that, 0.2 of that, 0.1 of that, and 1 of that, irrespective of how much quantity there is. It will do all that. If it only had just a Newtonian, it would mine 0.6 of that, and that's it. So the higher yields are mostly based upon your number of products that it's mining. It can mine a little bit of all of them instead of just a little bit of one of them. Europa's got loads of uranium, and I was really hoping that that yield would go up, but it hasn't. So unless we get really short on uranium, we're probably not going to mine that one. This one's got 1, 2, 3, 4 items. Let's ignore the thorium probably because it's only got 15 units. You could mine that with a toothpick in 10 minutes. The rest of them, though, still quite small, so that one might not be worth it. This one, again, 3, very easily accessible. And this one, 3, we've got plenty of them, but lesser. So we might come to those as well. These civilian guys are putting in mines and mining quite slowly, but Wolf Harrington's up to 6 mines now, which has got an annual production of 828. We are buying that stuff, and it's costing us 1,500 wealth, which for just one product, if it wasn't the geranium, I certainly wouldn't do it. Frigga, I just think I've decided not to bother with that one. Wild, we are getting that one because it's got 3 products. Make, we are getting that one again. It's probably not worth it. In fact, it's probably be better getting Frigga than it is make because of the annual production. 356. None for Frigga, but I think they've only just put one on there. But so yeah, I mean that's a pretty good one. We probably would have put something there ourselves. I'm not sure yet whether if you add stuff to that, whether that our mines, whether it adds to it or what. Shipyards. There we go. So we got the 3. We got these 2 are adding capacity as fast as they can, 80% there, and we're scrapping our sensor test ship, as you can see there in the other one. Yep, so that one's underway. And we've also designed and built a new cargo ship, Cargo Mark III. Let's have a quick look at that one. So I'll not hide the obsolete ones. Oops, there we go. So slow progression with the increased version of these. So 34,700 tons, 864 kilometers, 20 billion. 25.1, same weight, 1,200 and 96, and now the last one is 1,300, not much more, and a 25.2 billion. So didn't increase it by much, slightly smaller tonnage, but the main sort of advantage is it's got a slightly more efficient engine. I think that gives it just a little bit more speed because we've been able to drop the weight. So oh, it's slightly less armor was able to do that. Better armor, sorry. So we just went with that. So the Mark III is the latest one, and we have built that one. Cargo 1 is refueling from Earth, loading an auto mine from Earth. This is unloading at the Monort Russell and then refueling Earth. And as I said, because that comet is too far away, it hasn't got the range, I'm including the 2 survey ships that aren't doing very much. They're very, very efficient, and the amount of fuel that they carry, when the Cargo 1 runs out of fuel, these guys have still got like 60 odd %. So we use because they're part of the same fleet, equalised fuel, they transfer a bunch of their fuel over into Cargo 1 and it can complete its journey. So they just follow around as little tiny ships, but they are fuel tankers, if you like. Cargo 2, he is going to Temple Tuttle and back to Earth with automated mines. That one's near enough, so that doesn't cause too much trouble. And our final Cargo 3, he is doing the quick runs to Aurora. It's the fastest cargo ship we've got, so it can catch up with that comet that's flying out of the system, and we'll keep doing that until it runs out of fuel. It's got quite a lot of fuel, so it should be able to do that. So there's our ships. Military is still currently just these flower ships. They are called flower because they were supposed to be very weak and rubbish, and they're living up to their name perfectly. Our Geo survey ship is a gravity survey ship. It's just sitting in Earth orbit. We've got Jump 1, which is our survey jumper ship, civilian ship. Again, just where is he sitting at the moment? He's just sitting outside the Proxima Centauri jump point. May as well bring him back to Earth, I would have said. There's no need for him to be there now. Jump 2. Now this is our military jump ship. Can I get into this class? There we go. So, no, sorry, this is not the military one. This is the larger commercial jump ship. So this does nothing except sit on a jump point to allow commercial ships to pass. We've got a 37,000 K commercial jump drive, which means it can jump ships up to 37,000 K. Commercial only, though. It's quite a big vessel, 15,800, but it can just sit there. It could just sit there as if you like, a jump gate. So that's jump 2, and it's currently sitting there resupplying from convoy. But we'll be using him shortly. We'll be moving him to the jump point because we're going to go and start to populate Alpha Centauri pretty soon. Next ship that we're looking at building is the Jump Team ship. This has got a military jump drive in it up to 10,000 tons. Any of our military ships at the moment can't be bigger than 10,000 tons. Otherwise, we won't be able to jump it. It's 10,000 tons itself, which is my imposed limit of military ships for the time being. It's got an active sensor and a thermal sensor, so it could jump in and search for it. Our active search sensor range is 500 million kilometers, and our thermal passive sensor is 110 million. These are for strengths of looking for ships at 1,000 signal strengths. It's a military vessel. It has a 2.33 a 2.33 year maintenance life. It's going to go wrong 1.75 times a year. And the most expensive thing to go wrong will be 1,000 parts. We've got 2,500 with us, so we should be okay. So we're going to build this ship, but it's 10,000 tons, and currently, our shipyard, naval shipyards, are not big enough. So we're adding 10,000, and then we're going to add some more. So that jump ship has got to wait just for a little bit longer. Going back to the military, we're looking to build a cruiser ship. Now this cruiser ship is 10,000 tons, which is our designated maximum size. It's got the active and the thermal sensors on board. Whether we need to do that or whether we need to just whether we need to have a designated censorship, I'm not sure yet. We've also got our best weapon at the moment, which is a railgun. It can fire up to 90,000 kilometers, which is not very impressive. Our fire control can track things up to 256,000 kilometers away. Depending on the size, obviously the smaller it is, the nearer it is. And then we've had to put in 4 of these reactors to power the whole system. I'm not entirely sure what these things mean. I need to look these up, but I'm guessing these are percentage chances as the ship gets smaller or something, and that is damage as the ship gets something or other. Don't know. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, that is our that is currently our ship. It's got a PPV, a planetary protection value of 36. So if we look at the flower, that had a planetary protection value of 3. So it's a massive improvement of our current ships, but it's still not going to be anywhere near what needs to be done. It's obviously much bigger than the flower as well. The flower was a bit of a stopgap, if you like. Okay. That's basically the situation at the moment. We've got to design missiles, I think. Don't think those railguns are going to do it. We might have some ships with railguns for close-in work, but I think we need to design missiles. The other thing is this Seawiz. We'd like to build that as well. This is a very close range last effort. It's all completely targets itself and everything. You plug in your bits and pieces. You've got your best tracking speed, your best sensors, your best speed rating, your best range, and your best rate of fire. And that will shoot down basically anything that comes in range, within, by the looks of things, anything that's going 16,000 kilometers, it can cope with. So that's a pretty fast, that's not the fastest missiles, but that should do it. And it should shoot us stuff. And base chance to hit 50%, but it spits out 4 shots every 5 seconds, so it's going to start hitting stuff. And I expect it does like 1 damage per hit, that sort of thing. Yeah, but it looks like it can fire possibly 32,000 kilometers away. I don't know. Nothing here tells me anything other than that as a range, so I'm guessing it could shoot that far away. So we want to add those as well. And there's a few other things that we need to look at. Our active sensors, we went and developed those, and I think we did a size 20 or something like that to give us the range maybe a bit higher. About that one, I think we went for size 30 perhaps, which gives us a chance to see a 5,000 ton target at 500 million kilometers. Now, if it's smaller, we'll obviously see it later. If it's bigger, we'll see it. We'll see it sooner, I think. So yeah, range against a 1,000 ton object is 20 million kilometers, and a 250 ton object would be 1.2 million kilometers. So that's roughly the active sensor that we built. And finally, the thermal sensor. Again, I can't remember what size we made it, but we gave ourselves an improved one of those, which gives us a better range for that as well. So that's a recap episode, just to get you up to date, because we've jumped forward, probably a few years since the last one. And in the next episode, we're going to design the best missiles that we could design at the moment. Whether we actually employ those missiles or use them at all, I don't know, but we're going to design them anyway, because it's not a straightforward task. So in the meantime, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode where we're going to design some missiles. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, then please consider giving me a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe to hear about when I do some more videos. In the meantime, if you want to click on one of the other videos that I've done on a different game, then these are my latest ones. Please go ahead. Or if you click on the next video in this series, that'll take you directly to the next video in this series if I've done it and uploaded it. Thanks for watching.